Now let's talk about a very interesting topic, that is if-else statements. So in almost every programming language that I have learned till date, I've come to know about that there is an if-else statement. Okay, so what is an if-else statement? That is the first thing that you need to understand if you are new to programming. Okay, so let me start explaining you. Okay, so you see, there is a segment of code that you want to run if and only if a particular condition or a particular logic, uh, you know, is true or a particular condition is satisfied. So let me write two variables: a equals to 10, b equals to 20, and now uh, uh, um, I have two print statements here. I write a is smaller than b, and then I have another print statement: a is bigger than b, or I can say a is larger than b. The first statement is only useful to be printed to the console if a is less than b. That is the case, a is less than b. And the second thing is useful if a if a will contain a larger value than b. Okay, so if I will print now, both of these things are printed. Okay, but what if I want to print according to, if by after checking this? So what can I do? I can use a if statement. So if I will write if a is greater than, or we can say a is less than b, and then a colon sign. Okay, remember this syntax: if a is less than b, then a colon sign, then I write this one and then press enter. So in most of the text editors, you will automatically have this, tab space defined. So you can, I'll just, if you have written like this, you can simply press tab key after placing your cursor here. So it will do like this. And then again, I do like this: else, then colon, and then tab here. Okay, so now I run it. So now you see only the first print statement, that is a is smaller than b, is executed because this condition is true. So we have studied the comparison operators in one of the earlier videos of this course. So I told you that the comparison operators return Boolean values, right? So if a is less than b, that is true because 10 is less than 20, it will return true. So we are specifying if true, then run this, else run this. Okay, so this is a kind of logical programming in which we are telling to execute particular set of statements to the compiler according to a particular condition. Okay, so let me just make it 100. Now this condition will be false. A is not smaller than b, rather a is bigger than b. So I did not make any change here, but I just made the change to the value of a. Now let's see. You see, a is larger than b. Now the this print statement in the else block executed because this condition is false. Okay, now let me just conclude everything. So what we does, if condition, okay, then some code, else some other code. Okay, so if the condition is true, then this part of the code will be executed, and if the condition is false, then this part of the code will be executed, that is in the else block. Okay, in most of the other programming languages, we use blocks like if, condition, and then we use curly braces like this, right? And then we use else, then curly braces like this. So whatever the code is written in this curly braces, it will be executed if the condition is false, and whatever the code is written in these curly braces, it will be executed if the condition is true. This is how we use if else loop in most of the other programming languages. But this is the one feature of Python that makes it different from other programming languages, that is indentation. Okay, so we do not make use of these curly braces, but simply indentation. So if then the condition, then the colon sign, then enter. It will automatically do this indentation for you. So like I'm using VS Code, but it depends. If your editor does not support that, you can simply use tab key to provide indentation. So if you are a beginner, you may find a little bit trouble in this indentation, but later on as you go through, writing a few codes or a few if conditions or for loops, you will get to, know better about how to manage these things. Condition, let me just write a condition, A is less than B. Okay, now I'm just printing the value of this thing to just clarify you better. You can see it is false. That means the condition contains the Boolean value false, and that is what we are providing to this if statement. Print A is less than B, else print A is greater than B. Okay, so let's run it. You see it prints false. Now the condition is false. As I told you, if the condition is false, the else part will be executed, and if the condition will be true, then only this part will be executed. Okay, so as the condition is false, A is greater than B, that is the else part is executed. Now if I just change the sign, A is greater than B, obviously that is true. Now the condition is true and the first part is executed. Okay, that's how you can use if else in Python. Okay, and it is not necessary to always use else. That you also can keep in mind. It is not at all necessary to use else always, but you can also use individually. So now this will not be executed, but we have used only if, as no else part is used, so nothing is executed for that. Okay, now beginning, coming to a little bit advanced method. So let me just make it equal 10 and 10. And now I want to, write for each and every logic. So I will write three conditions. Let me write within if only. Yeah? So I say if A is less than B, then print A is less than B. Okay, and then I write L if. So in most of the other programming languages it is else if. Okay, but in Python it is elif. This is also known as nested if else statement, so in which we use multiple conditions. So I write L if A is greater than B, then print A is greater than B, and then at last I write else print both are equal. Okay, so let's see what it runs. So you see both are equal. This one is printed, and let me make this condition true. A is greater than B by making it 100. Okay, so you see A is greater than B. This part is executed. And I can also make the first part executable like this. Okay, A is less than B. So you can write as many as elif conditions as you want. Okay, so the structure will be like this. If condition 1, then do this. Elif condition 2, do this. Elif condition 3, do this. Okay, and similarly it will go on, and then at last else will be executed if none of the conditions above will be satisfied. So it goes on like a ladder, one by one. If this condition is false, then it goes to this. If this condition is false, then it goes to this. Okay, as soon as the condition becomes true at a particular stage, it will execute that part and nothing else will be executed. Okay, so that's how the flow of if elif or if else statement goes on like. And I just give you a very simple example, but you can write multiple lines of code in the blocks as well. Okay, so that's completely that completely depends upon your programming logic. And as we'll go on further in this video series, we'll find out how we make use of if else statement for different purposes. Okay, and one last thing is that if you do not if you want to make use of the if else statement, but you do not want to do anything for a particular condition to be true or false, then you can also do like this. If a is less than b, then executes this one. Let's say print a is less than b, and let's say you write else and you just do not want to do anything, you can do pass. Okay, so you see currently it executes the first one because it is true. Let me make it false. Now see, nothing happens because there is a pass keyword here. So in the else block I just specified pass, so pass means just leave it. Just leave it. Okay, so that's also a keyword that we make use of in if else statements, and sometimes also in try, except, and various other things. We'll come to know, you will see later on this video series.